Hello, I am in, I have a glow in here because the lighting is so horrible in this room. Let me try this other light. Hold on. Maybe if I turn that one on and turn this thing off will be better. Oh, wait. Oh, that looks better. Oh, look at how beautiful I am. Today is, I'm logging in early, so if you are watching the replay and you want to fast forward about 5 minutes, I don't know. I just got bored. I was like, I don't want to wait around. I want to get going. Let's see. I'm going to put us on Twitter. I'm going to post this on the mammothgardens.com. That's our website. You already know that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know that, probably. So, unless you happen to be searching for chromatic harmonica music, which nobody does, I have come to discover since almost none of it's being posted or tagged, and we're doing it all the time. So I guess you're stuck with me. Let's see. I'm posting mammothgardens.com at mammothgardens.com. You will find all the sheet music you need. You will find some harmonica videos and some harmonica fun stuff and some suggestions on what to buy and how to get started. This is not for blues harmonica because, frankly, I don't get it. We just play harmonica the old school way, and it's the way harmonica is supposed to be played, in my opinion. Let's go post this over. We're using the my favorite one is Breathe From Your Belly logo today. Mammothgardens.com. Patience. The blue-haired girl pops up. We hit replace. Harmonica, breathe from your belly, open, tweet. All right, so there's that. Let's see, that isn't helpful. We can close this, close that, close this, and we're ready to roll. Using the other microphone today, don't know why, it came out of the box first. And we're going to see, you guys will let me know if it sounds fine. Let's see if I click there. This opens up to what it's supposed to open up to. And today, the plan is diatonic and chromatic scales. We're going to do both. And then, and last I don't remember what we did last. Where's my chromatic scales? I think we did C sharp. No, we must have done D major is what I'm showing as the last one did. So we'll do the E flat major scale on chromatic, and then we'll do both diatonic scales. We're going to play Ode to Joy, and then we're going to play Happy Birthday and Home on the Range, and finally Last Rose of Summer. So those are our that's the plan for today. Vic is in. Sound is good. Not frozen in Eugene. Vic may have heard we are frozen here in Denver, which is, it's nice to see that Eugene is doing a little better than us. I think it's about 5 degrees, something like that outside. Let's check while we're at it just to see. And I'm wearing exactly the same shirt as yesterday because this is my "it's really cold out" shirt. So, so let's see. It's telling me 3 degrees outside. It's supposed to snow all day apparently. The high is 10. So yeah, it's going to be pretty unpleasant out there. Coming in, they say, don't bring your guitar to school because it'll freeze. So come to school and just not do that. So I've been playing piano all day at school today. Is what I've been doing. Yeah, I'm coming to you live from one of the practice rooms in the King Center at Metro State University on the Auraria campus. And I'm right next to the door, so you'll hear all these doors. And the place was full. Otherwise, you always try to get one of the practice rooms way in the back. So we'll be hearing the door a bunch, and people will be poking in their heads going, what's going on in there? So let's play really, really well so that they don't think we're doing that we're up to some, thing unapproved. Next door there's one of the vocal students is doing some opera stuff, so you may hear some of that coming through. Let's see. Robin is up from British Columbia. Sound is good, she says. And good morning, Diane. Diane's here, local, and it's cold down there, isn't it? Oh, now there's a trumpet. I don't know if you can hear any of that. There's a trumpet player. We got a vocalist, and then of course always piano. Always, always, always piano. Hey, it's 11 o'clock. Let's get started. I don't know where everybody else is. Well, they'll be around. And they're used to me showing up late, huh? So this week on the schedule, check your books. You should have Hallelujah. You'll have to send me an email if you need it. It's Only a Paper Moon. You'll need to send me an email of that. And La Vie en Rose. You'll need to send me an email if you don't have those in your book. And then toward hopefully in the next day or two, I'm going to post a bunch of Irish tunes. Not a bunch, three or four Irish tunes, so we can get ready for St. Patrick's Day, and so you have those. Today, Last Rose of Summer, I'd throw that into the mix in terms of being sort of Irish. Anyway. Last Rose of Summer, Minstrel Boy, and Danny Boy, you have those in your books already. Those are good Celtic tunes for you as we get around toward St. Patrick's Day. Sandy's in from Upper Michigan. So here's how it works. I always say, "Oh, it's so cold here. It's 5 degrees," and then Sandy walks in. She's like, "You don't know cold." that's a summer day for us. Marianne's pretty chilly down in Parker. Yeah, she's just south of Denver here, and it is cold today. So we'll here. Those of us here in Denver will grumble a little bit. How about that? The rest of you'd be like, you don't know weather. All right, let's warm up. Let's do the diatonic scales first. And I want to do... How come my thing isn't working here? Here we go. Diatonic scales. Diatonics, notes in C. We will play the C major scale and the A minor scale. Remember, guys, if you have a tune that you want to transpose, I don't recommend, if you're going to just grab a piece of music off of that you like, it's probably not going to work on a diatonic. So when we get to the other page, let's talk about dabbing out some of your own songs too, because it'd be fun now to try that. We need to do When the Saints... Fat Tuesday next week. Yeah, remind me. That's a great idea. Didn't even know. I don't keep track of Fat Tuesday. So yes, remind me next week. We'll do it. Sandy, 15. Oh, it's 15 degrees. Sandy is 3 times hotter than we are here in Denver. So that tells you what we're doing. All right, C major scale, we do it 2 times through. Then we switch to the A minor scale and do it 2 times through. And then remember down below there, that's for transposing. But again, if there's any sharps or flats in a song, it's not going to work on diatonic harmonica probably. So I have that down there mostly for myself. Once in a while, I know a song's going to work on diatonic, and then I use that as my cheat sheet for tabbing something out. But mostly I use this page for the C major scale and the A minor scale. Gives you a good chance to warm up the middle of the harmonica and the upper end of the harmonica. 2 times through on C major, then switch immediately to A minor. Everything's a quarter note except the last note, which is a half note. So one twice as long. And we'll count in blow 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think what I'm going to do, when I originally wrote this out, I put it in fixed do, which is true on the C scale, but the A minor scale, I think I'm going to move that to a movable do because that's how we're doing it here at school. There's two systems for the solfege. You can either always start on do, or you can put do at C and leave it there. And I don't like the way this is a legit way of doing it, but it's not the way that they do it here. So I think movable do is more common, so we'll probably change that out. Hey, while we're at scales, let's go ahead and grab your chromatic out. You bought a chromatic, right? Let's do your chromatic scales as well. And I think the D major last time, at least that's what it looks like from my notes. So I want to do the measure 5, the E flat major scale. It's got 3 flats in there, so you'll be kind of busy pushing the button, but not terribly much. The thing I like about this scale, you finally get to use the -1 star, right? You don't use that reed very often, and so you get to try it out. So let's do the measure 5 E flat major scale 2 times through, and see if we can get some nice clean tones out of the lower end of your harmonica. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Lovely. Oh, hey, Francis. Yeah, it is 22 today. The New York Times crossword puzzle today was all about twos. Yeah, so kind of cute. All right, there we go. All right, all right. So we got all the scales in today, right? By the way, I'm going to repost this chromatic harmonica scale sheet here in the next day or two. I got a couple of typos I want to adjust on it, and then we're going to play through it again all the way to the bottom, and then we'll get started on minor scales, which are really, really crazy, and will make you it'll make you quit harmonica. That's mostly what I'll do. All right, so today I want to play, let's switch back to diatonics, and let's play your Ode to Joy. Let's get that up and running. My friend Elizabeth sent me a note. She says, I've been playing Ode to Joy on a harmonica, and it's been, Beethoven would be turning in his grave. So hopefully, those of you guys who have been around a while, this is not a major for you, but certainly when you begin, right, it's hard to get clean tones out of these little guys. Keep at it, because they do come. There comes a day when all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm killing it. Usually it takes a couple months, I would say. You guys tell me different if your experience is different, but a couple of months of serious study of the diatonic harmonica, and you should be in pretty good control of it. Chromatic is another issue, but let's play Ode to Joy, make it as Beethoven-y as possible. 2 times through, blow 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. that. You imagine Beethoven, Last Symphony. Things are going pretty well for him. Managed to get through life okay. Writes that. Such a simple piece of music and so powerful. All right, cool. Let's see, Marianne. My foster pup whines when I play the low notes, just the low notes, right? And you'd think a dog would be like, oh, I really, really hate the high notes, but yeah, I don't know. We don't let dogs and cats give us vote on our music, right? They get to they're our number one fans, no matter how much they disagree with that. Francis is 23C. That's about 75 degrees. That sounds okay in Portugal. And Marcia made it in. Hey, Marcia. All right, let's play some tunes. So I have on here Hallelujah for tomorrow, right? So if you don't have your Hallelujah in your book, send me an email. But happy birthday and Home on the Range are there. And then remember to send me an email if you need It's Only a Paper Moon or La Vie en Rose. And I mentioned earlier that I'll have our Celtic tunes, Irish tunes type things. I should get a couple posted here today or tomorrow, or Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, as quickly as I can, so that we can start looking at that. And Diane mentioned, which is super smart, next Tuesday we'll have to play When the Saints Go Marching In for Fat Tuesday. So, beautiful. Happy birthday. Let's grab Happy Birthday. And if I remember right, I don't think I remember right, so let me pull it up and let's see what we got going on here. Happy birthday. You can do it on your chromatic or your diatonic. A little harder on the diatonic, but honestly, if you're going to sing somebody happy birthday on a harmonica, you probably want to just use the little one, right? So let's try it. Let's try it on, pick whichever one you're happy with, right? If you want to work chromatic, that's fine. If you want to work diatonic, do it that way. I'm going to do it on diatonic. One time, let's do this. We'll do it one time through. I'll do it on diatonic, and then we'll do it another time through on chromatic. That way we'll get it in both ways. All right. From the top, I'm on diatonic, 2-beat counting. I'm gonna blow 6. 1, 2. Remember that fermata there, measure 6. I should have talked about the musical thing. That eyeball looking thing above schmo, that's a fermata. That means you just hold it extra long, and we all have the industry approved correct length that that note's supposed to be. Right? If we make it too long or too short, people will be like, he's not doing it right. But there you go. Switch to chromatic. I'm going to blow 3 this time, and there's no button pushing on this one, right? So, because if you can play it on diatonic, you won't need to push a button on chromatic. Here we go. From the top, 1, 2. All right, so now you can play Happy Birthday. That's probably one you want to memorize, right? Just memorize, pick whichever harmonica you want to use it on, and then just memorize it. Just take time, spend the afternoon, memorize the thing. That way you don't need sheet music, right? So you hear somebody's birthday, you just pull up Facebook, blow into the microphone, and then send, right? And they'll be like, yeah, my friend Marcia suddenly got into harmonica. I don't know what's gotten into her, Home on the Range is next. I'm going to play this on chromatic. It is a diatonic tune. Nope, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm going to go ahead and play it on diatonic. really high, really hard to play on diatonic, very easy on chromatic. So if you have a chromatic, you may want to play it on chromatic. But it does work on this. It's pretty high pitch. It's going to hang around holes 9 and 10 a lot. Looks like 8 and 9 a lot. And so again, if you are like, hey man, I really like that song, get a G harmonica, which is pitched lower, and it'll have a much more pleasant. Your dog will be much more supportive of that. All right. Give a thumbs up. Yeah, right. Okay. At some point, we're getting pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, and at that point, Google sends me a free puppy. I haven't been able to cross that border. I mean, it's interesting how resistant people are to subscribing. That's probably because they're not interested in what I'm teaching. All right. 2-beat count in, blow 6. 2 times through. 1, 2. One, 2, 3. One, 2. One, 2, 3. So overall, it was okay. The 9 was giving me a fuss. That's why I sometimes like to play this one on diatonic, just to get used to making those 9s. A lot of times on a 9, even when you're drawing or you're blowing, you'll get that warble in that sound. It's not exactly pleasant. And learning to control that just takes time and effort. I forgot to mention, if you were playing chromatic at measure 27, there's a note missing. Measure 27, the second note should be a draw 6. So we've talked about before. I'm going to update the sheet music one of these days, and we won't have to talk about it anymore. Cowboys play diatonic because it fits in the pocket, right? So if you're those are, again, I think I don't know if Dawn's here today. Most of you are cowgirls, right? Although these days it's cow whatever, right? Cow person. So who knows? All right, goofy. All right, so now we'll move on to our chromatic song of the day. It's Last Rose of Summer. And I was going to mention, pull up your chromatic scales real quick, because I said I was going to talk about it and then I didn't. Pull up your chromatic scales real quick. This is the thing I wanted to talk about, is that if you decided, hey, I'm going to tab out a song of mine, the scale sheet is maybe helpful, maybe not helpful. I don't necessarily know if I would use this to tab out a song. The problem with the way these scales are written out is that you see all the sharps and flats buried inside of here on purpose. I wanted it to be really obvious when you're playing a sharp or a flat. So this is maybe not the best tool. Even though it has all the notes and all the possible locations, it's maybe not the best tool for you in terms of doing your own tabs. I do have on the website, I think it's called Notes on the, what's it called? It's in the harmonica section in the library. And I think I want to roll down here. I want to tell you exactly where it is and what it's called. Chromatic Notes in C, right? So that's the one. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Chromatic Notes in C, and that's in the library, and it is the one I use when I am tabbing. So it gives you sharps and flats both in actual pitch and in a written pitch. So sometimes you want to play it up. Sometimes the notes will drop too low because harmonica sounds an octave higher than it's for real. So usually when I use that piece of paper and I'm tabbing stuff out, I almost always just tab it out in actual pitch, because you're probably playing from a song that you know the words to, and typically words are written on the treble clef, and so the actual pitch usually works just fine. There have been times when I've had to tab stuff out in the written pitch, which is lower. Well, let me think about that. It sounds higher on the instrument. It depends on where the song falls on there. But that's a resource. It would be a great idea for you to pick a simple song. Don't start with Bohemian Rhapsody. Start with a simple song that you like and grab that and try tabbing it out. And then if you have challenges or whatever, you send me an email and say, hey, I got this note. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And it happens with me too. I'm tabbing something, all of a sudden I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And that's the fun part about music. But that gives you a chance to start making some of your own tabs. You want to start with a normal piece of sheet music written out with the real notes, and you want it to be short, and you don't want it to be super hard, and that gives you a chance just to go through and handwrite in on the sheet music the tabs, and then play through it, of course, and see how you did. And if anything doesn't exactly work right, then there you go. You'll note that on some notes, on that piece of paper, there's parentheses around it, and that means it's the same note. So in other words, if you blow 2 with the button in, or draw 2 with the button out, it's the same note. And so sometimes it makes sense when you're tabbing, if you're already in the whole, if you're already drawing, you may want the next note to not be a draw, so you'd put a 2 star. Or you might say, you know what, I'm only going to push the button on sharps and flats, so in this case I wouldn't push it, or whatever. You think it through in terms of your playability, which one of those to use. But there are many notes where there's 3 notes of the same quality. So I'm looking at a C note on this. -4 with the star is the same as 4 without anything, and it's the same as 5. So all of those notes are the same note, but depending on what comes before it and after it, it will determine which way you want to play it. So just trying to sort of push on the idea a little bit of you doing some of your own tabs. And the place that I would start, I'd go either over to my guitar website or Harmonica, or either my ukulele website or a guitar website. Pick one of those songs off of there and just tab it out, and the sheet music sitting there waiting for you, and it would be a really good practice for you. And you'll find out that it's kind of a lot of work, but you'll also find out, hey, man, I can do this, and so I don't have to wait on stupid Gary. Frances reports she's watching the sunset over the ocean from her living room while playing harmonica in Portugal. I think we got to vote Frances off the island. I don't think we need that being rubbed in our faces here. Diane and Marianne and I are sitting here in Denver going, I don't know if I want to hear about that. So Vic says, thanks for the info on tabbing. Yeah, start with one. Just go over to the guitar website, grab one of those songs that you know, and then tab it out, and then see if it plays. That's what I would do, just to get you in that groove, and then you can start looking for songs that you really care about. But always start on the chromatic, because you will run into problems with diatonic, and that's why I think it's important for you to practice on that. All right, that's a long commercial break for the notes on the chromatic C, and again, that's in the library. It's the under theory and standard notation for harmonica, and it's called a resource, chromatic notes in C, and that's just in our harmonica library. And honestly, even I'm pretty much got this thing memorized, but not quite. And so I always just have that up and sitting there on the, one window on the computer, and then my sheet music on the other. And that way, if I get, I think it's a 5, right? That's how I make mistakes too. Is I'm like, oh, I know this, and then I don't. So there we go. All right, where were we? What are we playing here today? Let's play. What did I say we were playing? I'm already blanked on it. Last Rose of Summer. All right, this is our wrap up for today, and so this is an Irish tune, right? Irish or Scottish? Scottish, I think. John Stevenson. I think no, Thomas More. It's Scottish. So this would be perfectly lovely for St. Patrick's Day. Although it's not the right time of year, right? This is supposed to be played in the autumn. Let's do it 2 times through, 2-beat count in, blow 5. And the nice part about this one is it's in old school AABA setup. So once you learn the first 4 measures, you've also learned the next 4 measures. Then you just have to learn measures 9 through 12, and then it goes back to A again. So if you play it twice through, you end up playing section A 6 times, and section B twice. So yeah. All right, and super sad. It's the last rose of summer. It's done. All of its other friends are dead and lying on the ground, and he's going to pluck that last rose and throw it in with its friends, right? So sad little moment in song. So get your sad on and see how you do. Not fast, full of melancholy. 2-beat count in, blow 5. 1, 2. The top. And then just let that one fade out, right? And let the guitar player give you a nice strum at the end. I should mention one of the techniques that you should be aware of. Notice, so when we start harmonica, I teach you to two between every note, right? So that gives you, just listen and you'll hear what I'm talking about. So that's twoing, that's called tonguing between every single note, and that's what I teach you when you first get started. But over time, you guys have figured out, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, it kind of depends. But a place where you don't use your tongue for sure, measure 6. When you see that little swooshy thing, and it's between notes of two different pitches, so measure 6. You have a G note and then a swoosh and then an E note, right? And so what that means is that's a slur for sure. So it's not a tied note. Those are two different notes. That's why you go 7 to 6. And in those cases, don't use your tongue. Just go from one note to the other. Sometimes it's a blow and a draw. This case it's two blows, 7 to 6. And so you don't two. And just ba, and so just be aware that I don't put a ton of those in because honestly, a lot of the music we do is not set up for that. You can normally make a decision about whether tonguing is something you want to do, but when you see a slur, you're not going to tongue. So that's one of those places where you're like, all right, so the sheet music, there's a reason why it's hanging out up there to help me make decisions. That's it. So remember, send me an email if you need Hallelujah, It's Only Paper Moon, or La Vie en Rose. Those are all three of those are world classic tunes, and you'll love having them. If you have them in your book, you already have the right version. And like I say, maybe take a half an hour, go pick a song and try tabbing it out for yourself just to see what that process is like. The goal obviously always is to make you independent of me and to make you better than me, and that's a pretty low bar, right? So getting you where you play a little bit better than I play, so that you can then go on and study this at a conservatory somewhere, and then also get where you can take a piece of music and just take it and turn it into something. I would say it is possible to play these instruments without tablature, right? And that involves memorizing and reading through the standard notation. For some of you, that might be a goal. For others of you, you're like, I will never, this instrument isn't that important to me. It is a very, that's a tall order to go through and memorize where all of these notes are on your harmonica, because harmonica is interesting. It shows up, the same note shows up in lots of different places on it. And so I'm not discouraging you from that, because some of you would be a really valuable thing to do, is just start learning how to read the standard notation line, and then you don't need tab at all. But in the meantime, it would be really cool to learn how to take the standard notation and turn it into tablature. So maybe spend a little bit of time on that. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's freezing here, so I'm going to go home. Remember 1 o'clock today. Those of you guys that have ukuleles, come join me for that. We have book 1 and book 2 today at 1. But 1 o'clock is book 1 and 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock is book 1. 1:30 is book 2, and it's always fun. And that's it. So thanks everyone working on tabs today. Yay! Vic has headed off to work on a tab. Frances is showing off that she's got a better life than us. And let's see, Marcia and Marianne and Diane and I are all freezing to death here in Denver. So you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, and we will do the songs we didn't do today. So that'll include Hallelujah, It's Only Paper Moon, and La Vie en Rose. So peace.